What's good, guys? You're watching Everyday Struggle. I am Nadeska here with Akademiks and our friend Justice Baiden. So he's one of the co-founders of the label Love Renaissance. They manage artists like Black and Summer Walker. He's going to be filling in for Wayno this week while he's out with his family. Justice, welcome back to the show. How are you guys feeling this morning? Ak, you look crazy.
I look crazy. I told y'all. I gave y'all a heads up, man. Listen, we were talking about it just off air. I need to go look at some Ross interviews for some tips on some shades because I picked these up right next to the pharmacy in CVS, and these got prescription. These are prescription shades, so I basically can't see shit.
Can you show us the pink eye, please? I want to see how bad it looks today.
Oh, hell no. First of all, you know what they're going to do? They're going to fucking like meme that and be like, this would happen when Freddie Gibbs, Meek Mill, Ruri, all them niggas caught up with that. Yeah, all right, I'm good.
All right, so guys, yesterday we ended the episode talking about Tory Lanez and maybe some outlets deciding not to cover him anymore. So we actually have a perfect fan question to help us lead into this conversation. Heist Baiden decided that they're no longer covering him. So the question is, do you think we'll start to see more publications do what Heist Baiden did and take a stand against artists like Tory Lanez? And do you see streaming platforms in the future, will they block these troubled artists from uploading their songs and albums to the platform? So this is a conversation about being blackballed. It's happened before. We've heard some artists say that they've been blackballed. It could happen with Tory. So I guess let's just start with the basic premise of, to you Akademiks, because we talked about this before, what do you consider an artist being blackballed?
An artist being blackballed is an industry term. So if you're not in the industry, you ain't blackballed at all. You got to get in to get blackballed. What the reality of music is right now is that, yeah, you can have an artist that's quote unquote organically hot, has a lot of fans, but to really make the turn and a lot of things happen, you see big sales, you see songs really succeeding. The industry pretty much, it's like a pipe. They allow it to happen, and at any point they can shut it off. Now, when it comes to like streaming services, and Justice probably has his own data for his own artists, but 60 to 70% of artist streams are coming from editorial playlists. You get me? Now, if that is shut off from an artist, you're basically left with 30% of the streams you would normally get. Again, maybe not to the point you can't earn a living, but you can't really be a flourishing artist in the music industry trying to compete and vie with the top people without support from the industry. So that's basically being blackballed. Now, blackballing back then used to rely on the radio and a lot more other things. I think DSPs are this powerful at this point, where DSP could instantly, the reason why Tory's about to sell 40 to 50K, DSP says, no, we're not playing shit. And he's only getting to that number, 40 or 50, just because people are intrigued. And the second week's going to look a bit. I tried to make this point before with 6ix9ine, probably the worst candidate to make the point with, but it wasn't a 6ix9ine specific point. It was, aren't we going into uncertain times when, by the way, we know some artists are going to be troubled. Some artists are going to do things that we're not going to like. When these situation arises, right, and music then follows, DSPs make the decision to say, we will not give you the same shot as other artists. Is that fair? We can remove it from 6ix9ine, Tory, let's forecast. It's going to be another artist that maybe we like. Maybe they made a mistake. Is that fair? And I think that's the question we need answered, because DSPs are getting more and more powerful by the day.
So first of all, Justice, I guess, would you agree? So if Heist Baiden stops covering Tory, does it really even compare to DSPs deciding to no longer playlist him? And do you think it's fair? We'll get into that.
No, I mean, Heist Baiden or, things on the editorial side, I don't think are as impactful as DSPs not covering you. Blackballing is definitely like a real thing. Although everybody wants to just fail to like acknowledge it or act like they don't know what's happening, but it's definitely a real thing. For me, I get kind of worried because I'm just like, the moment where like DSPs really start blackballing and really start trying to keep certain artists out for their behavior, I understand certain things morally because certain people are in charge of playlists. It's people that are in charge of playlists. But in the same breath, I feel like that's when DSP takes the turn and feels like radio, because that's what radio used to do. And still does. And, that's when the idea of radio became antiquated. So it's just like, my thing is just like, I don't know if we want to walk in the same shoes as, what came before that kind of affected the industry and affected, the quality of music by, you know, by putting your business in artist business, basically. It's just like when like for example, Ack was saying 6ix9ine, and I want to like kind of like ask like a controversial question, like granted, like, you know, I understand the 6ix9ine thing, but in the same breath, it's like he cooperated. Like when did DSPs punish you for cooperating with the government? He did what he's supposed to do as a citizen, technically. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, why are they getting involved in, you know, street code and street things? And I don't know, it's just a little weird to me. But.
Yeah, I find it a little problematic where, you know, without even saying as much, it clearly is happening on a passive level that they are like trying to they're trying to uphold certain morals or certain values or beliefs within the culture. It's just, it makes it really difficult for all artists. Let's think about Tory in this position, right? He's independent, okay? Which means he's just not with one of the big 3 labels. By the way, the big 3 labels all own a percentage of Spotify. You know, to that effect, you know what I mean? Like, and this is what I'm getting at the radio thing. You're getting to realize, because in for a fan, we used to think that, okay, like, yo, we get what we want. Like, there's no more middleman. You get to realize that there's a middleman that comes in. The labels saw it before. That's why they own parts of these companies. You know why? They push through their artists. Like, you tell me that if I own a percentage of your company, you ain't going, you know what I mean? Maybe not explicitly, but kind of heading out type of joint. You're going to have to guarantee me a couple spots on your biggest playlist. You're going to have to reward me for certain things, because in reality, I own a part of what you got going on. I look at artists like Tory, who, again, isn't on a major right now, but also who's embroiled in something very controversial. What's going to happen the next time we see an artist, which God forbid, but we do know we've seen this many times, they attack their girlfriend on camera, right? They do something really dumb. They let off a firearm at maybe a building where people could have been injured, kids, whoever. Dumb stuff. What we're gonna do when we see so-and-so gets arrested for whatever, because by the way, we're not even waiting on, you know what I mean, these things to be litigated in court. We're just kind of saying, based on how we feel right now, you shouldn't be getting any support. I think that's a very dangerous path.
So we've sort of seen an example of it, right? A few years ago, I think with Spotify trying to remove some artists from playlists, there was a lot of outcry, and then they decided this practice doesn't make sense. So then moving forward, what are your guys' opinions on this? Like you're saying, so if an artist isn't, you know, prosecuted, the law isn't involved, then should DSPs not have any say? Because they're not going to ban them from the service, right? The music is always going to be there. But in terms of putting them on playlists, you guys think it should just be an issue left to the law only?
All right, I'll answer this. So the blogs, right? Mm-hmm. If a blog, like for example, blog, website, media company, if Complex says, hey, based on our editorial staff and what our morals are, we don't want to cover Tory Lanez, fine. I believe that's fine. Like, mm-hmm. I'd rather you do that, rather only cover him in one way to pretty much put a tint over anything he possibly does. So High Sobriety says, hey, we're never going to cover this guy again. That's within your right. You're doing media, right? Again, your job is to let people know what's going on. If you choose, if an artist is doing something that offends what you stand for as a brand, cool. These jobs should not be to have that moral compass. It's to be a distribution point for the music, nothing else. Again, I just can't imagine, like back before, like, you know, we had streaming services, iTunes said, yo, check it out. Because so-and-so did whatever, we're not going to put them among the new releases. So to give people a fair shot to buy the product. If DSPs aren't a media company, why are they playing these propaganda games when it comes to like trying to be the moral police?
But can we say that in some ways DSPs do not act a bit like media companies, doing interviews, doing editorial content and stuff like that? Because again, the music is still going to be in the server, and I'm just asking questions, throwing this out here. But then like Justice mentioned, the editorial playlists are like a little bit different. There's some curation going behind it. They write up all these notes on the artist, they give descriptions, a little bit of background. So there is some actual editorial involved. But do we rule that out completely?
No, I mean, I think for sure, like, you know, there's definitely like a huge editorial like side to it, but in the same breath, it's just a slippery slope, because again, it's just like, you know, whose moral compass are you playing with? Like who actually, and what is the actual rule, right? And that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I really do get it, you know, like, you know, sometimes artists be wild and they be outside just going crazy, and I get it, but man, the whole point of DSPs, you know, it should be, you know, who are people searching, you know, who are people, you know, asking to, you know, to be playlisted. I feel like we should listen to the fans, and, you know, and really uphold to what made the DSP special. Because again, the moment when it becomes like a cherry picking situation, it gets super tricky. You know, it gets super tricky. So,
And once you start, stop, right? So once you start kind of playing the moral police, you know what everyone's gonna say? Yeah, if you did it for Tory, why you ain't doing it for this person? Right. So then when you continue that route, and by the way, let's just historically, man, I seen how much love NBA YoungBoy got from, you know, Spotify recently. Imagine when a couple years back he was caught on camera him and his girlfriend. Imagine they said, "Hey, we'll never have you on our." I'm serious. We'll never have you on our service again. So like when I'm like, you know, I call for playlist regulation before, but I also do mean like a little bit more transparency. Like again, if say Spotify just, yo, we'll never play this guy again. Apple says we'll never play this guy again. NBA YoungBoy wouldn't have that week that he just had with Top. He wouldn't, like, shit. He would just be the guy dropping music on YouTube, and the culture might be rocking with him because YouTube allows any upload from any artist, but he wouldn't be seeing the success on an industry level. So that's why I look at it, I say, hey, listen, in everything I do, I always say, just tell me the rule and make sure, even if it applies with me first, make sure you apply to everybody else. So if the rule is, hey, listen, bro, you make content that's rapping about domestic violence or some stuff like that, or you are accused of domestic violence, you ain't getting no love on DSPs. Great. So let's make that very clear that everybody on the list, get them off. But again, Spotify tried that approach where they were like, hey, listen, let's be uniform across the board. It's easy to pick on one artist than it is to pick on a bunch. Once they got Chris Brown off that list, RCA was like, what are y'all doing? You get me? There's a lot of, once they took a couple of artists off that really mattered, the label starts saying, well, slow down, buddy. We own you. You're not doing that. The decision was reversed the day, the week after. I'm just looking at like these one artists that we're singling out. Again, exclude 6ix9ine. We know like he's deceiving some of these services, so I understand that. Tory, everybody loved Tory like 2 months ago. Now he came out, of course, still might be in poor taste the way he did it. He said, I did not do it. I'm innocent. And everybody says, great, you're blackballed.
Yes.
Well, everyone didn't necessarily say that, did they? Well, I guess, how do you guys feel about the state of Tory's career moving forward? Ak, you said you liked the album itself, although you didn't like the way he addressed the situation. Do you guys feel like Tory is officially blackballed, or is he going to be good? He definitely has fans still out there rooting for him.
Tory, I believe, again, I like the album. There's a lot of content on the album. However, why he did the album. You know why? He didn't need to make this move that was going to turn everyone against him. He wasn't 6ix9ine. He wasn't dissing everybody, telling him to suck his dick, just carrying along and not giving a fuck. He was a very likable figure.
Change your heart from Ak.
No, I'm serious. No, he was a very likable figure. And he probably could have approached this even while explaining and proclaiming his innocence by just, you know, showing a little bit more humility and playing it different. So the way he did this makes me feel he will be in that blackball, like black sheep territory for the foreseeable future. And I do believe he kind of helped that because of just how he played his cards.
Yeah, it's for sure. It's for sure quiet for him for a while. He just really just needs to take a sit down for a little second. Like it's this one's gonna hurt.
Can you come back from this though? Like in a few years, I don't know. Tory has some sort of redemption tour. People are feeling a little bit better. I have no idea how this could work, but do you guys see a future where he could be not blackballed?
Anything is possible in 2020. But
that's a fact.
But I mean no, because at a certain point in time the story's gonna get old, and you know, once the story gets old, The fact that he is independent, he doesn't have label support, and he hasn't reached critical mass yet in his career because he was just like kind of just slowly ascending. It's hard to make it all the way up there without being there and then fucking up. Like if he was like Drake level and he fucked up, he'll be okay. But because he was ascending, I just feel like this fucks up his trajectory. You know, not in a conclusive way, but I think once the hype dies down a little bit, it's not going to be it's not going to be the best time for him.
Well, let me ask you a question, Justice. I got to get you some shit. So if he sends a record to Black, he says, "Yo, this is fire. I need Black on this. This is going to be amazing. We'll pay the feature price and everything. Let's get this out." Would that be a hard no, or would it be not right now? Because like I think what you're saying almost is maybe later down the line, but he does need label support.
For me, it's conclusive as not right now because, again, just as a company and just like as a team, like that's just not what is representative of our morals. So, we're cool until he he actually gives a real explanation. Right now it's just like we're cool.
Okay. All right. Let's see what happens. Let's talk about Jermaine Dupri right now. We're actually going to talk about the new Travis Scott song where he pays homage to them franchise boys. So this is a little bit tied in. So Jermaine Dupri got on Twitter recently and basically called out people for not giving enough respect to Bow Wow. He said, "Mostly all the young rappers that I meet tell me that they grew up listening to Bow Wow. The Scream Tour was their first concert, but you don't see none of the publications or hip hop gods ever celebrate this massive success." Do you feel like Bow Wow never got his flowers? Musically, because of course he's also an actor.
Yo, we gotta stop, man. Like, yo, come on, man. Yo, listen, man. We give this nigga like 2 rose petals. This nigga one whole flower shop, man. Come on, man. Like, yo, I'm telling you, we've given Bow Wow his flowers, man. Like for real. Like, we know he's like a legend. It's just that I think what he wants ain't even flowers. He wants to be like out the box where like people don't laugh at him, and he wants to be like, you know what I mean? Like him and Soulja Boy, like. Soulja Boy would have the whole thing to get his flowers. He got his flowers then too. But if you still ask people, they'd be like, yeah, people don't respect him. But it's not respect what they've done. It's just kind of people don't respect them as people. If you ask me, because I do think Bow Wow's, accomplishments and how long he's been in the game, I think people respect that. Do people care about like Bow Weezy, Odd Moss? I think, because he's been the butt of many running jokes for so long, people still don't respect him.
No, I disagree. I feel like Bow Wow never got his flowers for as impactful as he was. What? Especially for my childhood, man. Like he definitely gets shitted on. Like he wasn't that guy for a very long time. And I mean, look at how you even said Bow Weezy. Like you said it super. Super with your nose up. So like, I mean, come on.
But is that music though? Like, when it comes to music and career wise, I don't think nobody
just impact. You gotta respect. You gotta respect him. You gotta respect. You gotta
the disrespect when it comes to Bow Wow. Never, at least when I see it, never is about what he did and his run. It's always about his personality, some of his antics, and yes, that might make it seem like you're disrespecting Bow Wow, but come on, bro. Like Bow Wow having a camera with his hoodie tied mad tight and be like, yo, don't know it's me. Like, and he's running in front of a class with like on a field trip. Come on, bro. Like those are the things why people be like laughing at him though,
He definitely didn't age gracefully. I tell you that. He definitely didn't age gracefully. I mean, but then again, I mean, when you're 13 and you actually have kids running behind you for real, like, now he's like, however he is, I'm sure like he missed a few important like life lessons. So what are we gonna do?
Yeah, well, him, Nick Cannon.
Like don't act like he does.
Him, Nick Cannon.
Why Bow Wow ain't got no Hall of Fame BT tribute?
No, he should get one. He should.
See, look, you cap.
No, I'm not capping. He should get one. Soulja Boy. Yo, we be really celebrating how influential these dudes are, but sometimes we be laughing at them like these niggas, they be clowning, man. But like, for real, I do think I think Bow Wow gets his proper credit. And he's going on mad campaigns, so is Soulja Boy, to be like, get his respect. Like, come on, man, enough is enough. We love you, JD, but come on, man. Like, listen, we all can't just revisit the So Def era like every 20 minutes. Come on, what are we doing? Yo, we already hear about the Millennium Tour every year. I didn't know they were doing like a whole new tour every year. And then they're always beefing on the tour, so I pay attention. I see what's going on. We love you, Bow Wow, but come on, man. Come on.
Nostalgia sells. Well, look, JD was also upset about them Franchise Boys. So he said, when I signed them, people laughed at me. Now Travis Scott has a song that samples White Tee, and the song is called Franchise, featuring Young Thug and M.I.A. last week. So this is supposed to be the first single off his upcoming album, Utopia. Like we just said, pays homage to White Tee from them Franchise Boys. He also dropped a video to go with the song. Now, visuals are always really, really important to Travis. He went all out for this. Apparently, parts of it were filmed at Michael Jordan's mansion. Ak, what did you think about this record?
This record was nothing short of terrible. Yeah, like just a bad look. Like I didn't like it at all. It just
even with the video combined, because sometimes the visuals make the song.
Yeah, I'm it's saying one of the joints you can enjoy when you turn it on mute, but I don't want to hear the song. The song's garbage. The visual's cool though. Yeah, song's bad. I don't like it. Like, to be honest, I do think that after coming off the McDonald's thing and a couple of things he did, I keep saying that he's licensing the cool out. You know what I mean? I just don't want to see my guy just kind of like start flustering and lose a little bit of steam, because like we've seen that before. Even my critiques of the Migos, like when they start hitting that type of atmosphere, they started doing things like that. Maybe not to extend to Travis Scott. Then the music just started seeming a little bit like, yeah, this shit ain't really hitting no more. This song I don't like, but I'm not gonna cast an aspersion on his whole career. I don't like this song. It's trash. And by the way, it's the first time I've ever seen Thug and Travis miss like this.
They've had some great records together in the past. Justice, what do you think about this song and also about Travis's recent business moves? When we discussed his big deal with McDonald's, Ak wasn't necessarily very impressed.
I love it. I mean, I know, like, you know what?
You've seen the cash, that's why.
No, like I fought. First of all, I fought a couple people about this franchise record. I genuinely like it. Like, granted, he used a weak spot in my heart, which is M.I.A. Like whatever she's on, I just I definitely get on board. But I think Chase crushed that beat. I think you're capped, because actually no, this song is fire. Because when you're driving with your windows down at night, listen to that song, it definitely has that demon time energy. Yeah, I love it, actually.
So you're giving me an instruction manual on how to like the song. I need to drive at night with the windows down to enjoy it, because daytime listening, this shit sounds like skip or turn this off. Put on some Money Man and Lil Baby.
Sometimes you need an instruction guide to Travis Scott, because he's
what?
He's a mood.
Yeah, but he's never the windows down and cruise. He's the lit guy. Nigga, he says it even this shit, like, Alabama, it's lit. Like,
but you just said you were listening to this in the daytime. I didn't even know you listened to music in the daytime, Ak. I thought you were all Twitch after hours.
The hand bottle.
Studio man. Like, what do you think? Yo, I listen to Money Man every day. Like, it gets me lit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
By the way, you're late on Money Man.
I am late on Money Man. But now that I'm late, I'm trying to help other people who are later.
Yeah. Anyways, Jessica, and for me, like, the McDonald's move, I don't see how you could hate on that. That's incredible. That's using all that leverage on branding and marketing spend to his advantage. And he made it look cool. It's hard to make McDonald's look cool, and he did really well.
I'm not particularly hating on the move. I'm hating. Nah, I'm not hating at all. I'm only
first time you admitted it.
I'm just forecasting where this appears to be going. Where, like, yeah, I'm great and I'm happy that he's having these collaborations. It's showing how influential hip hop could be. But I feel like this is licensing the cool, and that they're doing it with Travis Scott. And usually, what happens when an artist gets to this point, they kind of lose a little bit of the essence and the influence, especially over the audience that helped build them to this point. So
give me an example.
Migos, I just told you that, like, I get those type of vibes. Yo, Migos, and I told this also on the phone. Migos went from setting the trend to, I believe, at a point following the trend. That whole dab thing, yeah, that's in the trend. Taco Tuesday, you're following it. Big difference. Now, what happened in between? Super commercialized, super like, yo, all these guys are now basically pop stars. They all kind of like, it looks different from being a group cohesion. They're moving around a little bit different. Yes, they stopped being seen as like the dudes who just from Atlanta, you know what I mean, kind of thugging out of bando. You get me?
Yeah, but that wasn't the reason why you liked them. It's a music thing.
What?
The music thing.
It's about the feel. Yo, hip hop music is literally the soundtrack to a lifestyle that you believe the artist is living. At least to me.
But
so when I'm hearing,
sorry, Travis's music hasn't been hitting though. This is one song that you haven't liked, but prior to this, it seemed like you've liked all the records.
Yeah, that's why I said one song.
This man is coming off of Astro World. Come on, like how are you?
Astro World was 2 years ago, dog.
Bro. Okay. Astro
2 years ago. That's okay, what. Hold on. That's what artists usually do. They get a really dope album. We love them. And they usually take, by the way, this is quarantine now, so you ain't got no excuse for that. They take a long time to tour, do all type of shit. By the time they come back around, shit feels a little bit different. I'm just saying, Astro World, he came, he dropped the Scots, Highest in the Room. By the way, all those records, I'm not all the way sold on anyway, but fine, they were cool. This record, I was just like, ain't it? I'm just telling you, don't say I predicted the future when we talking about this in 2 years.
The future, wow. Okay, so maybe we should wait till the album comes then. Then you can have some more evidence for your case, or not. Maybe it's a great album and then this is all done.
No, hold on, Nadeska, like, cause like, nah, because it doesn't make sense. Like, all right, cool. Astro World came out 2 years ago, but like, he had a whole Jack Boys tape that came out.
That he got washed on.
He got washed on. What does that mean?
Tolliver, Pop Smoke, everybody watched him on the joint. Facts. Tell me I'm lying.
When has Travis ever competed for being washed or not?
No, I'm not talking about lyrically. Everybody knows from 2012 to about 2016, actually I'd say 17, the Travis Scott sound has been 2014 to 2017. The most dominating. If Travis is on a song, it changes the whole outlook of the song because his voice and presence on the song is so dominating.
Right.
The nigga felt like you condiment compared to Pop Smoke on that song Gotti. Come on, man. Like he was ketchup or sprinkles or something like that. Well, my man Pop Smoke was killing it. Don Toliver, like I was listening to the joint for Don Toliver. I'm just telling you the truth or my truth.
What about features? So I was just fact checking my dates because I have the worst memory, but the London was a big feature for him. That song did really, really well. So he's still been doing things. Okay.
He killed that. I'll be honest.
Okay, I'm really excited. No, it's okay. I'm excited for Utopia to come. I'm a Travis fan. I hope it's a great album. I hope, it silences all of your critiques, but I understand where you're coming from.
And by the way, keep in mind, hip hop is the expectations never goes down or stays the same. It gets higher. So after Astro World, we could probably say send a conversation for classic, right? He has to now step it up another level. All I'm saying is that these tracks he's putting out so far is like, okay.
But he doesn't though. Like when you're at that level, like you're not competing against albums. You're just competing against hits. When you're at that level, it's just like the name of the game is to just put out hits.
All right. Okay. Cool. So everyone's waiting for another
classic. Do you really care about another Travis Scott classic? Is that what's most important right now?
Listen. Well, okay. Shit. Do we want to talk about his discography? Because what album was the letdown for most Travis? I know Travis fans. Like there was that one album that was a little bit of a letdown. Astro World was like pretty much the comeback.
Which album is a letdown? It couldn't be Birds, right? Hold on. Let's pull up the discography.
It's Rodeo, Birds in the Trap, and Astro World, and then Days Before Rodeo.
Unless you're talking about a mixtape, are you, Ak?
Maybe I am. I don't know.
Okay. All right. We can get more into this because I guess more music is gonna be coming soon.
Yo, blame my antibiotic or whatever it's called, eye drops. Okay.
No, that stuff that does not affect you mentally.
What's it called? Antibiotic? Yeah,
Antibiotics, does not affect you. Yeah. Anyway, guys.
Blame that, okay? That shit got me wilding more than the Henny. I'm playing.
All right. We got to go, but we appreciate guys sending fan questions. Send some more. We're on Twitter with 2 Gs at Everyday Shrug. Justice, thank you. We'll see you guys here tomorrow on Complex.